for example, you're a life and you sell the property, you have an obligation to the persons who are, we call them remainder men, for them to get to the, you are just entitled to the interest from the money, they will be entitled to the bulk of it, the principal. So what we encourage persons to do, you're putting on your children on the title. They take a life interest and let the children, as long as they are over 18, sign a document to say if parents should sell the property, they can keep the proceeds will be theirs. If they should mortgage the property, mortgage proceeds will be theirs. So it's something so that is important for you to do in terms of adding children to property. But as I was saying before, when you make a will, you can change the will every day. You make a will and will it to 2 children today, next week you can change that will and leave it to another child tomorrow. And when you make wills, it's always important to please make somebody know that you have the will and destroy the others as soon as you have made a new one. That's very, very important to note. Do not have too many wills sold in a row because sometimes we run into problems when that happens. Remember the numbers. You can send me a text message. Remember, a text message at 387-3183, 387-3183, or a WhatsApp message, 387-3183. But if you want to talk to me in studio, the numbers are 922-411-325. Remember, when you make the will as well, you do not have to put the will in. You do not have to record the will, but you can if you want. You can record it at the Island Records Office, which is in Sweden Park in Spanish now. You can also just put it away safely, but let somebody know that you have a will, so that person will know what is to happen. And don't sit down on the will, because if somebody doesn't know you have a will, they're going to go and waste money and administer the estate, and then you're going to come forward to say you have a will.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45. NIS pensioners, early encashment continues. Pension order vouchers with payable dates in December 2021 may be encashed as of December 2. Collect all your December payments at your convenience. Simply visit your designated post office. Remember, pension vouchers can only be encashed at post offices. A message from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Traveling to Jamaica with unaccompanied shipment? The Jamaica Customs Agency is encouraging all air passengers with unaccompanied shipments who have a taxpayer registration number, TRN, to present it to customs upon arrival. This will subsequently facilitate faster processing when clearing your unaccompanied shipments. The Jamaica Customs Agency will continue to implement measures to improve our service delivery and your service experience. You may contact us at 876-922-5140-8 or email public.relations@jca.gov.jm on this and other customs-related matters. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
The following is a public service announcement from Power 106 FM. Jamaica. Each wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, with the added danger of variants, has brought unprecedented pressure on public resources. Our hospitals and healthcare workers at breaking point. Our economy battered, families in mourning, and our children face an uncertain future due to learning loss. In this race against COVID-19, we must stay in it to win it. We must continue using techniques that can help to beat the virus. Follow COVID-19 mitigation measures, including wearing masks, sanitizing, 6 feet of physical distance from others. And on this leg of our relay, we can win with vaccination. These safe and proven vaccines can make the difference against COVID-19. And now that vaccines are in supply, let's get vaccinated so we can get back on track and keep winning. The finish line against COVID-19 is in sight. And with true Jamaican determination, we can all have the victory. Brought to you by your friends at Power 106 FM.
So we ain't giving up now. We put up a fight. We got to be ready. The stuff's getting traded. Just said, don't you worry.
The number to call 922-411-325. And remember, you'll be send a text message to 387-3183 or WhatsApp message 387-3183. And I want to join the Power family to encourage my listeners to get vaccinated so that you can, because we realize we're hearing that there's a new strain of the virus around, and as a country, we really can't afford much more than we have gone through with so many, having lost so many of our older people in particular. So I'm encouraging a lot of my older listeners, you have choices with vaccines now, so there's very little excuse. There's even a vaccine that is being given to 5-year-olds in some other countries, and that vaccine is here as well. So we really should stop. And I want to encourage the younger persons to stop encouraging a lot of your older relatives not to take these vaccines, because many of you are going to carry this disease home to them and cause problems. Encourage your older relatives to take the vaccine. So many persons have taken it and nothing has happened. So many have not taken it and have died. Before the break, I was talking to us about administering the estate or probate in the will. So your relative, if a relative should die, try as best as possible within at least 3 years. That's a bit long, but I say you might need a little mourning period, but as soon after a year, or if you can manage it even within the year, to get an attorney to start the probate process. The probate means that you're going to send the will and certain other documents to the court for the court to sign a paper, and paper that the lawyer is going to send, and the heading of that paper is probate. And what you really want is for the registrar or the judge to sign who gets the probate, and you can have as many as 4 executors. So one, so the executors will pay the will to a lawyer, along with that certificate for the person who has died. Anybody else who will has died, then you really should also pay the death certificate to the attorney. So the witnesses have died, if any executors have died, you're going to need to let the attorney know. The witness is not so important, but the executor and the or something to be signed. For the person who witnessed the will to say, yes, I saw John Brown sign the will in my presence and in the presence of somebody else. And remember, when the will is being signed, the person who is making the will as well as 2 witnesses must be there. So at least 3 persons must be there when the will is being signed. If you only have 1 witness there when the will is being signed, it's not valid. It's not a will there. The person and if that's the only document, that's the person. By the executors, and you won't stand to prepare the transfer the property to the everything at the same time. So all the documents are signed up. Then the lawyer will send the relevant documents and they are signed. And after stamping will put them to the court. And then you wait on the court. If the court needs an additional thing, they'll send out a requisition to the attorney. To the tax office for a taxpayer registration number is an estate number. So when a person dies and the person died with a TRN, having had a TRN, that one cannot do. You have to get an estate one for the dead person. You have to apply for that. No, the lawyer will assist with that. After you've got that TRN, then every documentation will go into the tax office for the death duties to be paid, if any, and then you can start distributing, transferring the properties to who to get, etc. But if it's money or so on, you don't have to wait on the estate TRN, or there's a card to be transferred, etc. The attorney will lend you the probate or apply for an extra copy of it so that you can go and collect insurance money, etc., etc. And remember, if a person died leaving money, in a lot of instances, the banks or the financial institution where the monies are kept will allow you, will in paying for the funeral. They will do a check. When you get an invoice from the funeral home, most of the institutions will pay the funeral home directly. They won't pay for the nine nights and the grave digging and the setup and the candlelight, but they'll pay for the casket and the burial plot and expenses associated with things like those. That is when the person dies and you don't have any money in any, there's nobody's name on the account. So who can go and draw the money? Only the dead person's name was on it. A lot of the financial institutions will assist you by paying those debts. But we ask persons as best as possible to try to make provisions for your funeral where persons don't have to go through that. So if you have a special account, you can put a trustworthy person, a child, a spouse you trust. You can put them on that account where monies will be available. And you put that in your will as well. I direct my executors to pay my testamentary expenses, my funeral and testamentary expenses from my account held with X Bank. Account number so and so held with X Bank, and somebody would be more than likely be on that account who could draw those funds to pay the expenses. That's important because sometimes it takes a little while to get all these things, and person might want it might slow down the entire process. So make provision. I know we don't like to talk about these things. This is why a lot of times many persons don't make wills because we see that when we make them, we're going to die, so we don't make proper provision. But I really want us in 2021 to move away from that kind of a mindset and realize that it's important for us to make provision because a lot of confusion that we have here, a lot of bad blood that we encounter in our practice. Kalisha will tell you about that. A lot of the bad blood and the problems we encounter just because the person did not take the time out to make wills. And as I've said before on this program, a lot of times it's the reality and the expectation that don't coincide. So I expect that when my parents die, I would get the house, but they did not make a will. So my expectation will not meet the reality because they did not make a will. The funds will go to all their children. But I was the one who looked after them, who carried them, who they promised to make the house, who was there with them when the others. But they said if I word of mouth cannot pass properly, we need to put it in writing. A will must be in writing, signed at the foot or the end by the person making it in the presence of two or more witnesses. It must be written. So a lot of persons will come, a lot of persons will say, but my mother said the property was mine, you know. It is not written down, it's not going to be, you can't tell it that the mother said it was going to belong, you know, it's going to belong to you and all your brothers and sisters, all of mother's children. And the children who have died, their children must get their shares. And that's something that we need to recognize as well.
o'clock. Want new wheels? Massive Auto Parts and Car Sales has your cars, car parts, and accessories. Visit 158 Main Street or call 876-984-100. In light of the coronavirus, Massive Auto Parts and Car Sales is asking drivers on the road to be careful and to be safe. Massive Auto Parts and Car Sales, giving you quality parts and cars at unbeatable prices.
And remember, we have an office in Winchester, just shop 39 Winchester Business Center or shop 6 Jamaica National Building in Portugal. 11 and 1 is a good time. Usually after 10 to 1, but I prefer to listen when the person comes between 11 and 1. And remember, you can 908-1950 or 908-3518. And remember, it's Gloria Brown Calicia Finley. The firm is Brown Finley and Company. Good afternoon, Miss Brown. Can my husband will our matrimonial home to his family be behind me knowing? Well, usually will is behind you knowing, you know. Usually when person make the will, you don't know what is happening. Yes, the husband can use the matrimonial home. He can will anything he wants. You'd have to go to court if when that will is made, your name is not on the title. You know, then he's free to will it. So if it is in his name alone, he's free to will it to his relative. You'd have to go to the court and prove to the court why you should get a share of it. So I'm encouraging spouses, whether husband or wife, to have the conversation. If the matrimonial home, why is your name not on it? For them, for an order, because that might just destroy the marriage. If you should go to get an order for the property, for the ownership in the property to be determined, no, that might just destroy the marriage. So you need probably to have a discussion with your husband to see how best you can sort that out, to have your name added, or to at least let you have a one half of the property, or to will a half. But we know how it usually is. Persons write a will to say you are to live there until you marry or until you die or until you leave. So when properties are being bought, in 2021, person should not be saying, I don't know if my name is on the title. Or when he bought it, I was abroad and I never get to put my name. Get the conversation going quickly and get your interest in the property bought. I've seen instances where persons have been abroad, send the money to buy property, to build a house, and the name not on the title. It's no excuse. It's no excuse that you're abroad, which is why your name was not on the title. If this person sends something to you today, you get it by 2 days' time by courier company, and you sign it before a notary and send it back. So don't let anybody tell you that your name cannot go on a property because you're not here. That is not true. And also, don't let persons tell you that because of your age you need to add somebody on the property with you. That again is not true. If you are 150, a title can be bought in your name alone, and you make a will to say who is to get it. But don't let persons say because you're abroad you can't put your name on it. Secondly, because you're of a certain age, you can't. Your name alone should not go on it. Please do not buy those stories. nowadays. And I know part of the challenge we probably don't want to talk about a lot is that some persons are abroad and they are a little afraid to go before a notary public to sign a document because we know the challenge is a lot. So what I want to do is suppose you're abroad and you are to sign a transcript and you are or whatever. Anybody can submit that document. For example, you have a sister up there, then the lawyer can provide a copy of your statement There's nothing for the parents of the person who died to get. Nothing for the brothers and sisters to get. Nothing for the grandparents to get. That is the person never made a will. When you make a will, now you can will to anybody you want. Fear because you have children. There's nothing for your parents to get. You know, that was my father who sent her to school and she died and she had a child and they said the father, that's true, nothing for parents. Children where you don't make up. Spouse and children, or if you don't have children, or then parents will get children. Spouse and children or children. You're going to need name, address, occupation, TRN for the children with the person that is living. And sometimes that's a bit of a challenge because sometimes the children who come to you will say, well, I know it. Because when somebody comes in to administer, we need to serve on that side with a fraudulent circumstance. If the property is being administered on, or the estate is being administered on. And a lot of times you get a notice in the newspaper, you get a notice that I registered from a lawyer saying that somebody is administered. Now it's
We must stay in it to win it. We must continue using techniques that can help to beat the virus. Follow COVID-19 mitigation measures, including wearing masks, sanitizing, 6 feet of physical distance from others. And on this leg of our relay, we can win with vaccination. These safe and proven vaccines can make the difference against COVID-19. And now that vaccines are in supply, let's get vaccinated. so we can get back on track and keep winning. The finish line against COVID-19 is in sight, and with true Jamaican determination, we can all have the victory. Brought to you by your friends at Power 106 FM.
So we ain't giving up, no. We put up a fight. We got to be ready. The storm's getting treated. Just said, don't you worry.
Welcome back to the last segment of Land Solutions. And remember that my name is Gloria Brown. Someone is asking for the name of the firm. It's Brown, Findlay and Company. We're in the Winchester Business Center, Shop 39. And also in Ucherios, Shop 6 is Jamaica National Building in the heart of Ucherios. And you can call us in office 908-1950 or 908-3518. It's Brown, Findlay and Company, Khaleesi Findlay, Gloria Brown. And Khaleesi, we alternate on this program. So Khaleesi will be on next week. And remember, we'll be in Ucherios this week. We'll be in Ucherios on Thursday to meet the clients at that end of the island. But give us a call in office 908-1950 or 908-3518. Those are the office numbers. I'd ask the listeners at the beginning of the program because so many persons have been contacting us trying to get a job. What are the things that I'm going to need from you? And I have to try not to talk as fast as I usually do. The first thing I want the clients to do is to survey the property. Even if it's a big piece of land, your mother had 10 acres and you have built a little house and a little square, survey it. And usually we want documentation to show how long you have been there, especially if it's part of a bigger piece. And there are a lot of things you can use as a documentation, as evidence. Maybe you have old tax records, whatever. But most times we'll be able to assist you in terms of determining how long you're there. But we want you to survey the property. If you already have a survey diagram and it's more than 7 years old, get a surveyor to do a declaration. And I'll do a little work for the surveyor now by asking you, before you call the surveyor, get the lot pushed. And if you know where the pegs are, get them properly pushed out. And maybe put so many bottles, plastic bottles around the place now. Put a bottle over the peg so the surveyor can identify it. It might cost you a little less when the surveyor comes to do the ID report. If they can just find the pegs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and be out of there in no time. But when they have to come and be searching and using the instruments and can't find the pegs. And we need to protect the weapon or the pegs, the marks. Most times it's a piece of steel and sometimes a concrete peg. But know where the pegs are. So the surveyor can come and update the diagram. The diagram is more than 7 years old. And in terms of pegs, let the next generation know the line. I said that for churches as well. Let somebody know where the line is, where the mark is, where the boundary is. The persons will know. We used to plant for special trees in my community that you would know. So when you see that tree there, you know that it's a peg. Some trees that catch easily and don't die so easily. But let somebody know where the peg is and protect the peg. There are some neighbors who love to move people pegs, and even the Bible speaks about that. Some people, their land getting bigger every week because they keep moving the peg. But when the surveyor comes, the surveyor will always know, hey, that peg is here, but it belongs there. No matter how you move it, the surveyor not just going to say the peg is there, it's going to match it, should be there, it's going to match it using his instrument or her instrument. So the survey diagram, that's the most important thing, because when you come into my office and you have a survey diagram, a lot of the other information, I can ferret out of you, I can, ask you and write it down for myself. You have the survey diagram, it's property tax. A lot of persons trying to get a title, but they don't have any information about the property taxes. A lot of times we have to help. Sometimes we have to send our officers up to land val with your diagram for a search to be done to find the tax. We can't find it online. But usually I'd ask my clients, if you don't know the tax number, ask your neighbors if they'll be willing to give you their tax number. As a people, sometimes we feel some information that is not even important. We just hold it to our chest. But, sometimes I despair about us as a people. We hold information sometimes to our chest because we don't feel that we should help one another. And so if my neighbor asks, should ask, my neighbor can't find their tax number, they should ask for my tax number. How would that hurt me to tell them my tax number? What they're going to do, take away my land? They couldn't. So you might have to ask the neighbor for their tax number, because if you come into the office with the neighbor's tax number, we could go online and that will help us to find your tax number. So you have the diagram, you have the property tax. Any document, maybe mama gave it to you by word of mouth, but you have the old survey diagram, you have it ready to pay the tax, they have to old tax. Anything you can you have to help me to see that yes, you have really been there for 20 years. Because when I'm making your application to the titles office, I'm trying to convince the referee, and the referees, they are the people who approve these applications. I'm trying to convince the referee that yes, this person deserves to get a title, and is deserving. They will have to be doing, unfortunately, even though that you are the owner. This is why we try to put everything together. And usually we succeed. I will say that usually we succeed, just that it's taking a little bit long now. So we have the diagram, we have the tax paper, we need anything else you have to support the application. Anything to show that yes, this land is yours. Also, we're going to need two persons who have known the land for 30 years. We don't need them to write any letter to send to us. All we need are these persons' name, age, address, occupation. Name, two persons. And these persons must be 50 years and over, and they must have known the land for 30 years. And a lot of times, persons but I can't find anybody who knows the land for 30 years because all of those people dead, and that's not true. People 50 years and over that we need. They don't have to know the land somewhere mass grown person. You have owned it for 30 years. It's all right for them to say, from I have known it, you have been the only owner. That's fine. As long as they have known it for 30 years. So they don't have to know the person you bought it from if you have been there for 30 years. They can say, from I have known the land, it has been owned by John Brown, who is still the current owner. But we need these persons to have known it for 30 years, and this person must be 50 and over, or even 48 is fine, because we want to show that when they first knew the land, your declarant can be 48 or over. Even if the declarant can't write, can't sign the name, that's all right. We can make a mark for them, and somebody will read over the documents to them, and they will agree, and they can make an X in front of the JP who would have read it over to them. So we want the name, age, address, occupation of the declarant. Independent person in the community, your neighbors, persons who yes can really vote to say this person bought the land, or yes, after his father died, he went to live on it, or before his father died, the father had given him a house spot and he was living on it. And remember, you can put anybody you want on the title with you. And again, you remember, I give the precaution again, be careful who you put on your title. You've heard me talk about a person a lady who transferred her property to her daughter, and the daughter gave her notice. So these are some of the things that we need to be aware of. Don't just jump and say I'm going to put anybody. When in doubt, make a will. When you're not too sure about who to put on the title, make a will, because you can change your will this morning and this evening and tonight. You can make a will every time you get a pen in your hand. But when you put somebody on your title, it's difficult to get them off. So be very, very careful in how you deal with that. So you have your survey diagram. You have your tax information. You have old tax papers to help to show the ownership. Maybe the diagram is old. You can update it. But if you have an old diagram in your name for 15 years, that's good proof of ownership already. Which is why I encourage my clients to survey from now. If they don't very afford the title right now, have a survey close to your chest. And sometimes it's good when you have the survey, because when you go to survey tomorrow, the neighbor might just object, or somebody else might just object and put you in trouble. And what I'm encouraging the person as well to get the title is that so many persons are calling to say, hey, I have been living here for 5 years. but he's going to put you in a lot of problems to tie it up in court to prove that he's late. And some persons are just a lot of land grabbing is going on now, you know. Persons see the land and say, hey, I have a title. That's half of your battle already won you. So I'm encouraging you. So you have your survey diagram, you have your two declarants who have known the land. You don't need to carry the declarants with you to the lawyer, please. You just need their name, age, address, occupation. We don't need the TRN and they don't have to write anything at all. And if you want to get a title and you want us to get a title for you, all you need to do is just send me a WhatsApp message, Miss Brown, I would like to get a title. And immediately I just send you a little one-page form to say what I want from you. Very easy to fill out. You can fill it out in 10 minutes. Just make sure that you have your survey diagram. Just send me a WhatsApp at 876-387-3183. And just do that and I will be on my way in getting you the form that you need so I can help you so I can solicit the information that I will need. So your survey diagram, the two declarants, any paper you have, suppose you have a will that the father had willed it to you. Suppose you have a deed of gift, a paper he had written up to say, or your mother had written up to say, I'm giving you the receipt of land, or the receipt that you got when you bought the land. Sometimes you can't find the receipt, but you could find the check that you had paid to the man, paid for the land, or any documentation at all that will help you. Sometimes, a lot of times, some persons fill out the form, we call it TR1 form, that's a pink form. When you bought the land, they sign up that transfer form. That would be helpful. Anything at all. But protect the documentation that you have. Until you get that title, don't throw away anything at all. Don't throw away the old light bill, the old water bill, the receipt that you use when you're buying the property. Don't throw away any paper until you get this title. Because those are what you're going to need as your support, as your evidence of ownership. Protect them. Tie them up in a plastic bag. Because when you come in, and as I said to the person, when you're coming to me to get the title, only the land you mustn't bring with you. Bring everything you have, every old paper. I will go through them and determine what I want, what I don't want. But I don't want you to come and say you left something. Bring every single thing you have, every old light bill, every old tax paper. Because we'll copy them and give you back. But the more things you have to prove your ownership is, the better your chances. And remember, again, as I said, things are taking a little longer, so don't worry. Don't quarrel with your attorney, not even necessarily with us, but when the attorney telling you that it's in court from last year and she hasn't heard anything, believe me, it's true. Or it's at the stamp office or the titles office. Because these offices are having problems. Because because of court, the government has said a lot of workers must work from home. And they're working from home, but they can't carry home the work, they can't carry home the work, you know what that means. It's a bit of a challenge. So I thank everyone this afternoon for joining the program. Thanks to Adrian, Reed, thanks to Dervan. Outside broadcast. And thanks to you, my valued listeners. Remember, take care of yourself. I'm Gloria Brown. Have a good day.
You contribute directly to Jamaica's national development when you pay your customs duties. Let's all do our part in keeping the wheels of our economy turning. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:30.
ICWI extends the warmest appreciation to all our customers for making us your choice during the past year. Best wishes for a happy holiday season. May you soar into the new year filled with health, happiness, and prosperity. And our sincere thanks for your loyalty and goodwill throughout the year. From your friends at ICWI.
Power Talk on Power. Taking talk radio to another level. Join Dr. Herbert Gale on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Jamaica's welcome home. It's Christmas, welcome home. Alu flying from Canada. A hearty welcome. Alu flying from England. A hearty welcome. Jamaicans, any which part you come from. A hearty welcome. Yalla, you be miss. Welcome. Make me go bankies. Welcome. Long time me not see. Welcome. Make me go down spree. Welcome. Hold up your hand and sing. Welcome. Make me farm and ring. Welcome. Make me wheel and spin. Welcome. Fat gal and slim thing. Welcome.
Right, let's go studio.
Welcome.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112. 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, but also your voice notes. And the text line we've been using, the Power 106 FM text and WhatsApp number, 876-279-8598. That's 876-279-8598. What's on your mind this afternoon? We're anxious to hear from you. Looking forward to your usual participation. After all, it is.